Hey, it's me, Althazar, and welcome to another video. In this one, I'm going to be going over a brand new exclusive entering the vault today called Agitator Ant. Now, Octagon was really cool. They hooked me up with this so I could make this video for you guys, so thank you for that, Octagon. When I first looked at this card, I really didn't think that it would be all too strong. I mean, if you just look at it, it's a 4/4 for 11, and then at the end of each player's turn, if a creature that player controls has the least power or is tied for the least power among creatures, that creature gets +2/+2 and gains Berserker. It also has Enrage, which means that whenever this creature takes damage, the Enrage activates, and the Enrage is going to make it so that every time this creature takes damage, it gets +2/+2. Now, once I actually played with it, I realized that the card was actually pretty good. So I actually really like this ant quite a bit. So if there are no creatures on the battlefield except for the ant, then the ant is going to buff itself +2/+2 every turn. And those +2/+2 buffs every turn wind up stacking pretty quickly. So that when your opponent plays a creature, the ant, which only costs 11, which isn't too bad, if it's weaker than the ant, then the ant is going to give that creature Berserker, and then that creature is going to swing into the ant and kill itself. Or the ant is going to, on its own turn, swing into that creature and kill that creature. And then when it does that, it gets the Enrage boost also. So the ant actually buffs itself up quite quickly. The one thing that you really want to make sure that you do with this ant is that you have some way of giving it Berserker or Trample. Berserker, First Strike or Trample. If you give the thing First Strike, then it's going to survive for quite a long time. And if you have a way of giving the other creatures you control First Strike, that's going to help a lot too. Now, what I did is I kind of gave myself a little bit of a handicap for this video because the ant, I mean, if you're in Platinum and you have like a collection that's even like half the size of mine, then the ant isn't going to be replacing any of your go-to cards. But if you're a newer player, so if you're in like bronze, silver, or gold, this ant is going to be an amazing card. So what I did is I threw together a Mythic list deck, so just commons, uncommons, and rares, to show this card off and to show off the power of it. And not only am I doing that, but I'm limiting myself even further, and I'm only using my level 40 Chandra Roaring Flame from Origins because I don't want the Planeswalker abilities to be outshining the ant. I want to show you the ant in its element. So the other cards that I threw together with it are Momentum Rumbler. I said I'd try and make a video on every one of the cards in my Chase series, and this is one of them, so this is kind of a perfect opportunity. It's going to get First Strike, it's going to get Double Strike, and so if we give this thing Berserker, it's going to go ahead and mow down all of my opponent's stuff. I've also thrown in Sanctuary Smasher, as it's going to be able to cycle to give the ant First Strike or to give the Momentum Rumbler First Strike so that the first time it attacks, it just immediately gets Double Strike. So pretty nifty. Then we've got some gem converters in Dwarven Mine and Castle Embreth. Those are both going to convert to red. We've got some removal in the form of Justice Strike and with Angrath's Rampage. We've got support removal from Demolish. And then we've got some card draw with Thrill of Possibility. Now, I also threw in Chandra's Pyrohelix to be able to serve as either potential removal or to be able to enrage the ant and give it +6/+6 permanently. So there's a lot of fun stuff that we can do here. Let's go ahead and get into some gameplay. Also, as a special bonus, I have some extra footage after this of a deck that I made that uses like my normal motley of mythics and masterpieces and stuff using Agitator Ant, and that deck was blowing through PvE events like butter. So I'll showcase that one as a little bit of extra bonus reel after this match. And as if hard mode wasn't enough, I'm also going up against a level 60 walker in, I want to say, Legacy. So this is up against a level 60 Legacy Training Grounds with my scrubby little Chandra. So we'll see how this goes. I will do my best. All right, let's see. So with this starting hand, I definitely want to get Thrill of Possibility off. I've got the Adamant Red for it. So I'm going to get rid of Chandra's Pyrohelix in order to make that happen. And my best match is going to actually be to scoot this little red gem over on down there, I think, because that's going to give me a double. So that gives me Thrill and Demolish. All right, so the goal here is obviously to get the ant out as quickly as possible. So there's the ant, which is great. We absolutely want that to come down ASAP, as that's going to be our win condition, really, is getting that ant down and having it start to mac on the Royal Scions a bit. So this match that it's trying to get me to make is quite tempting, but I don't want to give him a red. So if I do it this way, yeah, that won't give the Scions a red match, which is important. So perfect, 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 perfect. I'm saying perfect a lot because we're going to get the ant down before the Scions get a creature down. So at the very least, our ant is now going to get one buff before the Scions do anything. And so our ant is going to immediately buff itself up to 6/6. And then Niv is coming down. Unfortunately, Niv is the biggest, baddest thing on the play yard. So Niv is going to be getting Berserker here. On the plus side, though, our ant is going to be buffing itself at the end of the turn. And that's going to go ahead and make Niv eat it a little bit. So let's see. Are you based on power or toughness? Power. All right. So since this is based on power, we're going to want to go ahead and potentially use the Pyrohelix. I won't have enough mana. I could play the ant. I could play another copy of my ant, and that will do. And actually, Niv, when Niv draws cards, is going to be buffing up our ant also. So let's burn Niv, and Niv is going to give the ant a small boost. So it's going to go to 8. I think it's going to stay at 9, right? You know what? Let's not play this ant. I actually think my ant is going to kill Niv. No joke. I really think the ant's going to kill Niv here. So it boosts to 8. Niv draws a card, and that's going to boost it to 9 power because of the draw. And then the Enrage is going to save the ant, and the ant is going to kill Niv, and then boost up. And then you might hear my son in the background. And then let's see. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and use our first ability, destroy some gems, see if we can't get any mana out of that. We do, which is great. We're going to get Dwarven Mine going here, along with Thrill of Possibility. I think we're going to have 5 mana. We are, perfect. So let's go ahead. Let's drop our second Agitator Ant down, and then let's agitate that ant with Chandra's Pyrohelix, enraging it 3 times to give it a nice big buff in terms of both power and toughness here. We're going to play the mine. We're going to play Thrill of Possibility, which is getting us yet another ant. That's beautiful. But I'm actually going to go ahead and charge up Engrath's Rampage first, just in case, once again, this is Legacy. So just in case the Royal Scions here have some kind of super nasty baddie that's going to somehow be able to contend with this now 24/12 ant. Barrel is an excellent example of something that I don't want to be on the battlefield, but Barrel stands no chance against our ant. So our ant is actually just going to go ahead and kill Barrel here. So I'm going to let it do that. I don't think I need to do anything special, right? Because it has Berserker, and that's going to be enough for our ant to get rid of Barrel. It's going to get the Enrage boost, and then it's going to boost itself again. So it's going to give it another +4. And then let's see, what are we going to draw next? So we've got Castle Embereth. That's nice. That's gonna give us some more gem conversion. And then you'll see that I'm actually holding on to my other ant, and I'm holding on to the other ant just in case the Royal Scions have some kind of kill spell or something to get rid of this ant. I just want to make sure that I've always got an ant down to deal with the Scions. So now at this point, the Scions have 2 turns to get rid of the ant before the ant just wins. The ant really does ramp up pretty darn quickly. It's as I said, it's quite strong. You'll see that all I've really done is played the ant, and it's already at 30 power. And then once it solidifies itself on the battlefield, because it's just buffing itself up so much, and even when it kills something, it buffs itself up even more. It makes it so that the ant goes ahead and takes care of business pretty quickly. So that's going to be it for this match with Chandra against the Scions. I feel like this pretty perfectly illustrates the power of the ant, even in a really easy peasy deck. So I'm going to go ahead and use this and then run the extra footage of the Powerhouse deck here. So I hope you enjoy that one too. So here is the Agitator Ant deck that is running some Mythics and Masterpieces. So the idea behind this one is we have Borborygmos to reinforce the Ant every single turn, along with everything else. And then we've got Obosh. So Obosh is going to give all of our creatures double strike. So that's going to give the Ant double strike. So Obosh has Companion. The Companion requirement is that all cards in your deck have an odd mana cost. So everything in this deck has an odd mana cost. It's also running Sword of Truth and Justice, and it's running High Alert to double the creature's power yet again. So once again, everything in the deck is to make everything just a lot stronger. So the Ant is going to be buffing itself every turn. And then this following turn, we're actually going to see a pretty interesting interaction with the Ant and Borborygmos. So I'm going to go ahead, take the red match here. Borborygmos comes down. Our turn ends. Both of our critters have 8 power, but the Ant buffs up Borborygmos instead of itself. So if multiple creatures are tied for the same power, then only one creature is actually going to get the buff. It's not actually just going to go ahead and buff everything you control. So now here you're going to see everything gets double strike. And that means that Borborygmos, every time it hits, is going to be reinforcing all of our creatures twice. And the Ant is going to continue to buff everything up, and Borborygmos is going to continue to do bad things to the world. Now here, I'm moving the sword down, and I'm going to be using Mind Detachment. I'm throwing it away just to give myself mana. Remember that Narset's second ability is crazy good. And the crazy thing about this deck, right, is that the opponent put Quarantine Field down just because it knew what times we were in. And in spite that, this deck is just going to absolutely shred him. He's just got no hope. So there goes Borborygmos, hitting everything twice. And our little double strike companion friend is really, really good with this, right? So everything just runs together really nicely. Borborygmos with the reinforcements, the Ant with buffing everything, and then the companion guy for, I think it's like Oborsh. I just said it, but yeah, that's the match. So my final thoughts for the Ant are that it's actually a very solidly good card. If you're a newer player, this is going to be a lot stronger for you. If you're a player who has a more complete collection, then there's a lot more that you can do to synergize with the Ant, and so you can do a lot more fun things with it. So it's just a matter of difference of like power versus doing like fun stuff. Either way, I had a lot of fun playing with Agitator Ant. It's a really cool card. Like a lot of the Ikoria cards that I've played with so far. I really like it. So if it's going to be available in the vault this week. So if you want to go ahead and pick it up there, you can't go wrong by picking up the Ant. I can't imagine that this particular bundle will be super expensive because it's a rare, but I don't actually know yet. So I'll see at the same time you guys do. And then if you want to just wait for it to come out for booster crafting orbs, then I would definitely go ahead and try and get it when it comes out for the orbs, because it really is a strong card and it's really fun. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.